Finally, after a winter that seemed to go on forever, a warm settled spell of weather arrived during the month of May. I intended making the most of it by heading to sea for my first multi-day camping trip of 2024. It didn't take long to decide where I wanted to go. Lunga and the Treshnish Isles, off the west coast of Mull being my destination. I knew the bluebells would be out and the puffins would be parading on the cliff tops. I was long overdue a chance to video these little sea parrots, and this video records my adventure visiting Puffin Paradise. My plan for day one of this adventure was to launch a boat at Kelly's Pier in Lochetive, cross the Firth of Lorne, head up the Sound of Mull, before turning west and going round Caolich Point, then crossing to the Treshnish Isles, a distance of around 60 miles. 8:30 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, while most folk were heading into the rush hour traffic to get to work, I took my boat to the shore. It was low tide and the water was too shallow to float the boat, so I took it off the trailer and left it in the shore, for the now turning tide to float it as I took the trailer home and parked up. On my return, the boat was floating nicely, well packed with stuff to last 4 days at sea, going to the Treshnish Isles and then continuing around the island of Mull. I love the feeling of freedom and excitement I get as I head down Lochetive in the start of a new adventure, never knowing what may happen or what I will see on the way until it's over. One thing was for sure, it was a glorious calm morning to be setting off. Crossing the Firth of Lorne, I was delighted to see the sea was flat calm, allowing me a comfortable cruising speed of around 20 miles per hour. A heat haze partially hid the hills of Mull, turning the green grass a distant blue colour. Cruise ships were now arriving in Oban Bay, as I passed Lismore Lighthouse and Duart Castle at the start of the Sound of Mull. I normally land for a coffee break in this area, but as I was keen to get as far as I could in the calm sea, I had my coffee on board the boat, while admiring the scenery from the Sound. It was lovely to see sailboats come out of winter hibernation too. I resisted the temptation to visit Tobermory, then turned westward at Rubnagal Lighthouse to pass familiar landmarks on the northern coast of Mull. Even this open and more exposed part of the sea was calm, allowing fast progress. Again I resisted the temptation to cross to the island of Call, now only 6 miles away. My mind was firmly on Puffins. Rounding Caolich Point, the Treshnish Isles came into view one by one. The largest, central on the screen island is Lunga, my chosen destination for the day. As I headed across the flat sea surface, a large Minke whale rolled over only 100 metres in front of the boat. I was too slow getting the camera going, so only caught the ripples left by its long back and short dorsal fin. However, I was delighted to have seen my first whale of 2024. I stopped engines and waited to see if it would resurface, and it did, twice. I heard it blow air before seeing it again, and never captured it in video. It was just too quick, and I was looking the wrong way. So I continued on my way to the Treshnish Isles. The first islands being Cairnaburrabeg and Cairnaburramore. Behind them, the long, low, flat island of Flada. Beyond Flada is a series of rocks and reefs, and then the island of Lunga. Then last, but certainly not least, is Backmore and Backbeg, better known as the Dutchman's Cap because of its distinctive profile. I know from previous visits to the island that there are many nasty reefs just below water surface, so watch for the channel the tour boats took before heading into the shelter lagoon. I dropped my running mooring buoy to keep the boat afloat in the now falling tide, then clambered up the hill to the low cliff tops of Puffin paradise. Lunga is one of the best places in the UK to see these beautiful seabirds, often known as sea parrots, sea clowns or taminori, because of their colourful appearance and upward waddle on land due to large webbed feet and short legs. They spend most of the year far out at sea, but come to land during the months of April to August for the breeding season. They nest in shallow burrows in the cliff tops, where the female will lay one white egg. Some will line the burrow with a few choice feathers or grass. Others are happy to lay in the bare earth. I'm told they tolerate humans well and allow us to approach to a few feet away, as their presence deters the ever-circling gulls, which look for unattended nests and will eat the egg or even the young chick. They are not the most graceful flyers, with short wings beating fast to keep them airborne. It's the reason they nest in low cliff tops. It's easy to launch themselves off the edge to start flying. They do put these short wings to good use in the sea though, as they propel them along underwater, often diving to considerable depths in the hunt for small fish like sand eels, sprats or herring. They can stay underwater for up to a minute or more. Male and females look very alike, although the male is often slightly larger. They are very sociable birds and interact well with their neighbours. The young chicks take up to 50 days to fledge, the time dependent on the abundance of food. Once it's ready to leave the burrow, it flaps its way at night to the sea, and then stays away from land for the first 2 to 3 years of its life, living at sea often alone. Sadly, their numbers are dwindling every year, and they are classified as red in the conservation listings. They are truly remarkable birds to see, and I'm delighted to have spent an hour or so of my life in their company. Of course, I wasn't alone in Lunga. The tour boats were bringing other visitors ashore every 25 minutes, and many had long camera lenses, which were certainly not required as the birds were so close. I also took some time off to smell the flowers. Bluebells, sea pinks and primrose are all in spectacular display at this time of year. Yup, May is a great month to be at sea for me. Now all puffined out, they headed back to the boat to complete the circumnavigation of Lunga and see seabirds from the sea. I didn't go as far as the Dutchman's Cap, as time was now getting on, and I still had to find a suitable place to camp. Tide times were against me, as low water was at 7 p.m, so I'd need a deep shelving shore, so the boat wasn't left overnight a long way from the shore at high tide, around 1 a.m. Winds can be fickle in this area. I decided to head to the island of Gomitra to see if I could find a suitable spot to pitch a tent, which also required a flat area of grass. As luck would have it, I found a perfect sheltered deep water inlet in Gomitra, with a lovely grassy area for the tent. The only drawback being it was a tick-infested spot. I found 4 ticks crawling in the tent minutes after putting it up. They were also all over my trousers and even in bare hands. They were small nymph-type variety, but still not pleasant bed partners. However, I was now too exhausted to look for another spot. I tucked trousers into socks and then sprayed socks and shoes with DEET spray in an effort to stop them getting into my trouser legs. Sadly, while puffins may be in the decline, ticks are multiplying fast. Many say it's because the deer populations are increasing, which is true, but the real reason ticks are thriving is landowners are no longer allowed to burn the grass or heather as they did 10 years or so ago. And in my opinion, this lovely spot needs a good burning to get rid of the ticks. I settled down to my supper of Guinness gravy, burgers, tomatoes, and Tainault free-range eggs. I then took another tin of gravy for a short walk and a slurp to explore the immediate area. It was indeed a very peaceful place. The island of Staffel looked very inviting, and I decided to pay it a visit first thing in the morning. While over to the west, the Treshnish Isles stretched lazily across the horizon. It inspired me to go back to the tent, get the drone and a 4-pack of Brewdog IPA, then kick back and enjoy the evening, on the rocky shore well away from the grassy area and its insect inhabitants. It was a lovely evening. I could sense a nice sunset was brewing as I slurped my blue dog, so took a few photographs before retiring to the tent. I wanted to get back before darkness fell to check myself over for ticks, and once done I looked outside only to see the whole sky was pure scarlet. I put the drone up as quick as I could, but sadly missed the best part of the sunset. But it was still very spectacular. I didn't sleep well that night. It rained some, and then the heat of the day made the tent very humid, and every little itch I imagined was another tick biting and sucking my blood. I will continue this video in part 2, where I visit Staffa and the Wilderness Coast, Balfour's Bay and other interesting spots on the west coast of Mull. Thanks for watching.